an acknowledgement that, and they are working together to make sure those tensions are subsided and they are not the situation is not hijacked for wrong means, because there are those amongst us who would want to instigate that racial divisions in the country. It's not new. We're still healing from our racial divisions of the past, and therefore we cannot ignore that those tensions may come flare up a bit and there, but it's the responsibility of leadership to come in, and the traditional leadership of the Zulu nation has come out to condemn that, and the leadership of the Indian community has also come out and condemned that, and they are jointly working together. I was part of a meeting yesterday with the leadership there, that they are working together to make sure the situation is stabilized. And in terms of I won't answer the question around powers of detention, extending the powers of detention, because it was dealt with yesterday. It was clarified that within the law, there is enough capacity to deal with the current situation. We don't need extra measures in that state. And in terms of the state of emergency, the government is assessing the situation. As the deployments improve, the numbers increase, then the situation stabilizes or gets out of hand, a decision will be taken by the state president of whether to declare or not to declare a state of emergency. Whether SAPS was incapacitated or whether there was lack of intelligence. We must recall that this situation is not happening during a normal time. It's happening in an environment wherein we've got COVID-19, and we took a decision as government that the workplace must be minimized. Some are working in the public service, we are working at 40%, and also within the SAPS, that decision was effected. You'll recall that the provincial commissioner of KZN had to issue a directive to recall people who were made to stay home because of managing the numbers on the ground. But secondly, also members of the South African Police Service are affected and infected by COVID-19. So that also impacts the response. But in addition, we should not forget our immediate past, where the police are used to the kind of protest that we have had, where South Africans have a right to exercise their freedom, to announce through protest, express their unhappiness through protest, and that which has never been violent. So we thought the numbers, as it started the situation, the numbers were enough to deal with a normal demonstration of unhappiness with one thing or the other. But we realized that that is not the situation. It's economic. It's the intelligence community that have provided us with that information, and the police have responded quite adequately with the numbers they had at hand, and they've moved rapidly to recall those who were made to stay at home to manage the COVID-19 pandemic. In terms of supplies for police, like I've indicated, the same response will apply, that the supplies will not have been enough because we had not planned for that type of violent. It's not even, they are not demonstrations. There are people who are conducting economic sabotage, who are orchestrating and planning the attacks. If you look at how the mosques have been attacked, those are clear, orchestrated and planned, and the capacity of the state will come in heavy on those who are instigating. And the issue around the security cluster lying low, the security cluster has not lied low. The security cluster had to plan a response, and that's why yesterday they came out and responded. Today, the ministers that are on the ground are ministers of the economic cluster, and some from the security cluster, but it is the economic cluster that is assessing. The security cluster have to deal with the situation at hand of making sure that peace and stability is restored in the country. They cannot be going around. They must be planning. They must be reviewing the situation minute by minute, hour by hour, and make the adjustments to the security plans. Thank you. Thank you very much for your time. We'll meet tomorrow.
Thank you. This brings us to the end of the briefing. As the Minister has indicated, the South African government will be giving regular briefings to the public, and we want the public to be informed, but also to assist the government in maintaining it. This brings us to the end of this briefing, and thank you very much.